Hello, Holy Cross community. This is our first ever episode of Home Ec. For those of you home with younger children, this is a great opportunity to get them off of their remote learning, off of the screens, and come into the kitchen and bake something together. Well, bake or cook, but today we're going to bake. So I have to bring in my special assistant.
Hey.
My daughter, Margot, who is, how old are you? Like, tell a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am 10 years old, and I'm turning 11 in 2 weeks, and we're having a special dinner together.
Our birthdays are one day apart. Yep.
Yeah.
And what grade are you in?
I am in 6th grade now.
All right. She's doing remote learning, so a lot of time on screens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all getting used to it. But a great way to even it out is to come into the kitchen and bake something easy, quick. And I feel like I keep saying bake because I think that baking is really fun to do with kids because they love the result, usually cookies or something like that. We're baking something different today, though, that I think could be for breakfast. It could be, what are we baking again? Do you know?
We're baking, I think, a berry custard.
A berry custard, okay. So this is something that could be for breakfast. It has eggs in it, minimal sugar. It could be for breakfast. It could be for a dessert. It could be for a snack because it has the eggs in it for protein and the berries for fiber, and just having fruit is a great snack during the day if you need a screen break. Yes. So we're going to get right to it. Margot is you can do this in any kind of baking dish. If you have sort of an oval one, that would be good too. I'm just doing it in my pie dish, so it may have to bake for longer. Oh, Margot's washing her hands because we always want to do that right before we start cooking in the kitchen, especially if we're going to be sharing it with anybody else. So Margot's washing her hands, and then she's going to come over and sort of smear this butter all around inside the pie dish, okay?
Wash your hands first.
And then we'll show you what to do afterwards. So why don't you go ahead and do that?
Yes.
And I know you probably have all your ingredients out because I was able to share that with you earlier in the group, so you are ready to go as well. All right, I just want to get the sides too. We'll show them afterwards.
Okay. So I'm just smearing this around right now. You can say the next step, I guess.
Well, okay. The next step is actually we're going to get this is also fun for kids because we're going to use the blender, and it just makes things that much easier, and you get to use a tool in the kitchen, which a lot of kids watch us, moms and dads, use the tools in the kitchen, and they want to do it too. So in here, we are going to add 3/4 of a cup of whole milk, right in there. We're going to add, I'm just going to stash that away, we're going to put in 3 eggs. Maybe you need to wear goggles. You're going to put in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Mine has started to, it's getting cool out. I can tell when my butter starts to harden pretty quickly.
This morning, it was
But 2 tablespoons of melted butter, well, it'll mix up in there.
It's not that melted, just heat it up again.
And then you're going to put in 4 tablespoons of sugar. You're reserving 1 of your tablespoons to coat the inside of the dish that you're using. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Margaret, you should be doing more of this. The kids are supposed to be doing it. You should be doing this.
I'm washing my
hands. All right, take this other, so Margot's going to show you.
So it should look like this, and you should smear it all around the sides, too, and in the middle.
So you got it all around. Now, we're going to take that remaining tablespoon of sugar, and Margot, I'm going to have you, sprinkle it in there, and then move the pie pan around to coat the sides, too. You can actually just dump it in the middle.
Okay. So we're going to dump it in the middle.
Dump it in the middle, and then maybe hold it up and show them how you shake it around. Yeah. There you go. You got it to the other side. Yep. Shaking it around. Try to get the sides now. So get the sugar over on one side, and then keep turning the pie dish around. Can I show you?
Yeah.
Get the remaining sugar on one side, and just sort of twirl your pie pan around, and then you'll get the sugar all coated in there. This is going to give it a nice caramelized, crunchy outer bottom shell. Okay, so our pie dish is ready.
You can see all that.
Can you see that
sugar?
Sort of sugar glittering?
Okay.
Okay, so smear with butter, put the tablespoon of sugar, put that aside for the moment. And what do we have in here again? We have 3/4 of a cup of milk, we have 3 eggs, we have 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and 4 tablespoons of sugar. Why don't you go put that on the... Margo, you can step away first. If I bring it closer, you might be able to
see the butter?
Yeah. So put it on there. Make sure you put the top on tight. It needs a wash. And I want to make sure we don't have it on too high. Okay. You want to put it on? There she is. Okay, so do that for about a minute. So you can let it go while we measure out the flour, okay? So Margot, we're gonna make this gluten-free because I want to eat it. Sorry. And I'm gluten-free. So this is one of my favorite gluten-free flours. We're gonna use a half a cup of this. Why don't you let that go and come measure a half a cup. Okay. So a half a cup of gluten-free flour and then some salt. Make sure you get it even on the top. You can use your hand against the side of the bag. There you go. All right. So why don't you stop that? Stop the blender. And you're going to put in...
I have our gluten-free flour.
Yep.
And it should sort of look like this when it's done blending.
You want to show it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It should
So
look
it's just all the liquid ingredients and some of the sugar blended up.
Yeah.
And now we're going to add in the flour, but we're using gluten-free. You can use regular all-purpose white flour. That's fine. Put that in. Then, Margaret, we're also going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Can you measure that out? Actually, you know what? Can you find the 1/4 teaspoon? Did I make it too easy for you? No. There it is. 1/4, right? A quarter. It's a math lesson.
Oh, is it backwards?
Yeah, it might be, but you have the 1/4, which is a 1/4 teaspoon. Put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there, and then, again, just give it a good...
I learned flash fractions last year, just so you know.
So put that in there, and then cover it up again.
We're going to blend it
Turn it on.
You shouldn't have berries yet.
I will show the berries are the big end, the big finish.
They have to be frozen.
So you want to actually you want to pulse it. So if you go, because they want the heavy ingredients to mix in with the liquid ingredients. So if you pulse it a couple times, it actually helps to get the blender to do that. All right, I think it's good. All right. While we're doing this, preheat your oven to 350.
We're not going to show the baking today.
No, we're not going to show the baking because that's the longest part, but we'll get you to the point where you're going to put it in your oven. And actually, this pie pan is small enough to fit in our toaster oven, which I love because I don't have to heat up the whole the larger oven. All right, so this let's do this first. We're going to put this into the dish. So we have our prepared dish, and here we go.
So it has the recap. There's
The butter,
and then there is
the
sugar.
Yep. You want to pour that in?
Sure.
And this is essentially our custard, our batter. It's a custard because it has eggs. So that looks good.
Nice and in the middle.
Nice and smooth, right? Make sure you get it all out. Tip it over. And nothing will really stick in there because it's not very thick. So all of it came out. Now you can use. If you lift it up, it's gonna fall out.
I think you can just put this.
Can you do that? Look at, she's my editor.
So
look at Margot. Okay, so we have our custard in there, and all we're gonna do now is take the berries. You can use any berry. So we picked these blueberries this summer, and I froze them. Now my dog is gonna start barking. So we're gonna take the berries that we froze from this summer. We have raspberries and blueberries, and you want a total of 3 cups, and you can really do anything. You can even make it a tropical flair. So if you wanted to do frozen mango and pineapple, but whatever it is, make sure it's frozen because, well, especially for berries, because they just hold their shape a little bit better. So all we're gonna do, Margot, can you help me? Just keep it down there because I think it's good fun for them to see. Can you just like sprinkle this over the top?
So,
you don't have to mix it in. We're just like getting it all over.
And then it'll sort of just become berries.
Right. Well, yes. Let's make sure we get some like towards the edges.
It's okay if you touch it with your hands if you're.
Well, if you washed your hands, right?
I
did.
have.
All right. So look there is your berry custard. Doesn't get much easier than that. So now you're going to bake this in an oven that's preheated to 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. Bake until it's set in the middle, and then you have a berry custard. You can let it sit for about 10 minutes after it comes out, and then enjoy. All right, and then just store it in the fridge to have throughout the week as a dessert, breakfast, however you want to use it. It's berries and eggs. It's pretty healthy. All right, what do you think? Good? Do you think you're going to eat it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks for joining us on the first episode of Home Ec, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye.